and welcome to this short presentation of one of the most important things in business life. That is, of course, the turnover and the correlation from the turnover to sales and the sales price. And this is the theory of the correlation between them in a typically competitive market. First, just let's go through the definition. When we talk about sales in this aspect, it's measured in sold units. So pieces, number of pieces, tons, liters. So we can talk about how many tons did you sell last month, or how many cans of beer did you sell in the bar last night. So that's different from the turnover. Turnover is measured in the value. So that could be Danish kroner, US dollar, or whatever you like. And the correlation here is, of course, made by a very important thing, the sales price. And any business, is always discussing, thinking about how do we get the best turnover or the best profit. Now, these turnover and profit is two different things. In this session here, we'll only talk about turnover, the top line in the profit and loss statement. Very, very important thing for any business. This is how we create value. It's how to make a big turnover. And it's made of sold units multiplied by the sales price per unit. So very important knowledge here that, turnover is made by a good sales price and a good sales measured in sold units. And we work with that in theory. That's what we will talk about here. I'll show you this example. This is a soft ice shop, and they have one ice, soft ice, and they have priced it at 18 Danish kroner. Now, 18 Danish kroner seems as a good price because, it's just below this coin offer of 20. So it's a good price in that way. However, we all know that in a typically competitive market, if you put up the price, some customers would tend to drop out and maybe use their money somewhere else. If you put down the price, however, you could attract more customers. And you can, of course, make an analysis of your market, and good business people know their market and the change in market depending on the situation. So in this case here, we have estimated a correlation between the sales price and the number of sold units. And we can see here the sales price of 18 is exactly 450 sold units. Now, this is theory, of course. One day it could be 460, another day it could be 440. But this is the best estimation we can get. Also, we can see that if we put up the price, customers will drop out, and if we put down the price, we can attract more customers. So, and this is, of course, what most business people are very keen on, is to put down the price in order to attract more customers. We see that all the time in offers. We have a sale, we have a discount, and we're always informing in the market when we are putting down the price in order to increase the turnover. Strangely enough, we very seldom see that now we have put up the price, we have increased the price. And of course, there's a good reason for that. So let's see if we calculate the turnover, what effect does this have to the turnover. And I have already calculated the turnover down here, and you can see the formula here. It is the sales price multiplied by sold units, and therefore we can see the turnover measured, in this case here, in Danish kroner. And we have a turnover each day in the high season of this particular soft ice of 8,100. And if we put up the price, we can see if this also will stick to practical things. This is theory, of course, but it's our best guess. So if we put up the price, we will reduce the turnover. So we will probably not do that. Depends on, other things also. But if we're only focusing on the turnover, we will not do it. Instead, perhaps we could reduce the price and attract more customers. In fact, we can see, yes, we have a higher turnover. So maybe we should even decrease it more. Well, no, because here you can see that the cost of decreasing the price is actually higher than the gain by increasing the sold units. So we can see already here that they should actually reduce the price from the turnover perspective to 14 instead of 18. So this is something they can find out if they, work a little bit about their theory and their market situation. Okay, so this is the correlation between sales price, sold units, and turnover. Now let's show it in a diagram. And the correlation between sales price and sold units is a very typical diagram, and we can go into insert. And normally when you insert, you have a lot of choices. What I always tend to advise is to make it very simple and to start by, taking the value. So this is the value, not the sold units, value measured in money wise. And I mark this, and then I go, I say, I would like to put in a chart, and I would like to, as in all other cases in the life situation, I would like to look at all options. So I take to look at all charts, and I take the XY. And this is a good tip for you, because this is the easiest way to, in my opinion, to make and have control over the diagram, because the XY gives you manually possibility to control the X and Y values, whereas in many of the other charts, Excel are doing it automatically. And that is giving a risk of, well, sometimes, strangely enough, Excel are not doing the right things, misunderstanding. So the XY scatter, choose that one. And in this case, I know it's a straight line, so I can go up here and say, I would like to show it in a straight line. And here we have it, the one value, the Y value is going upwards, it's the vertical, and the X value is the horizontal. And the diagram is showing the correlation between the sales price and the sold units. However, I haven't told Excel yet where to find the sold units. I've only told the sales price. And then Excel, clever at it as it is, puts in the running numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just have to change that now by right-clicking here in the diagram and say select data, because I would like to edit this one. And here you can see a nice thing, because you can here manually type the X values and the Y values and put in series names. So now I can put in the X values, and I have them here. So now Excel know the correlation between the sales price and sold units. And we can see sold units is increasing from 300 to 750 when you reduce the price. And I can change this one here and say this is price sales correlation. This is a picture of the market situation, how much they will sell in this shop at a given price. Okay, if I now want to show the turnover, now this here is what we call a units diagram, because this is price per unit. Price is always per unit, you can say, but I just make it clear that a unit diagram is, very low in values because it is per unit. Whereas a total diagram, when we show the total turnover, is of course a much higher value. That's why we will take now and make a new diagram. And this is a total diagram where we'll have very high values. I'll do it again and show you how to make a diagram showing the correlation between sold units and the total turnover. And again, insert, and a little arrow down here gives me the opportunity. Oh, sorry, forgot. I just need to mark the values. And I want all possibilities in life, and I specifically want the XY. And in this case here, I know I can see on the dots that this is not a straight line. In fact, this is a banded. And I can show it here. So this is turnover of this company at a given sale, at a given sold units. And again, I can see that, of course, Excel is still missing the information about what is actually the sold units. And here we can see we have a maximum here. And I'll just put in select data, right click, and I can edit, and I can now, because I have chosen the XY diagram, I easily can change the X values, and the X values we know is sold units. So here I have the correlation between sold units and turnover. And here we can very clearly see that it doesn't always benefit from selling as much as possible, meaning sold units. So if in fact they had taken a price of 10 and sold 750 and say, well, we are very, very busy, we have a huge sale. How much was it? 750 units. Fantastic. Well, measured in money, it's not the optimum, because it's around here, around 550 or something like that. In this case here, we haven't shown all possibilities. We have only shown the possibilities with a jump in prices of 4. But of course, we could also put in and say, well, what if we put in a price between the 18 and 14? We'll come back to that later. Now, this was only a short presentation about the main thing, one of the main things in business, the correlation between the sales price you pick in the specific market you are in, and how will your customers react, and what result will that give on your turnover. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you can use this information to price your product in your market. We'll see you in the next video.